Hey there, cat ladies and cat daddies. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Cat Lady Chronicles. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm vlogging from the porch again today. There's a lot of environmental noise, and it's just better from here. It's not quite as loud. Lots of wind and traffic today. Um, I've lost 90 pounds, and since I started this, when I was really started to commit myself to losing a significant amount of weight to improve my overall health and to become pain free. When you're too heavy and you develop joint problems a lot sooner, and I was ready to be pain free and just feel better every day. And that's what has happened. I feel so much better now than I did 90 pounds ago when I looked like this. And some of the big changes, like I've been talking to both of my parents about this recently because um I was raised in the country, okay? If y'all cannot hear the cornbread in my voice, I was raised in rural in the country in West Tennessee. And our staples, pork, beef, deer meat, coon, and squirrel, not possum. We don't eat that shit. That's a myth. Uh, and I grew up eating wild meat for well, always. That was probably over half of our meat supply was whatever season it was. Daddy was gone hunting. And other than that, like pork is usually pretty cheap. So we have pork chops, pork steaks, sausage, ham. That was a staple on the table. But people ask me, when did I get into gardening? And it's, well, since birth. Everyone in our family had a garden, and that's where we all got our food from. Like we would all pitch in and help each other, planting, weeding. Time when it's time to pick through the summer, picking beans and peas. Oh my God, beans and peas! Since I was the youngest, it was my job to pick the beans and the peas because I was the lowest to the ground. And if you know anything about beans and peas and bushes, they're sitting on the ground. And so I would spend all day. And in West Tennessee, this is red clay, and when it gets to about 100 degrees and it don't rain for a month, that red clay is like broken pottery to your knees. So by the time we got done at the end of the day, I had bloody knees, and usually like the palms of my hands right here would be kind of skin up too. But we would have bushel after bushel of peas and beans and corn and lots of other things too, and we would all share it with each other and stock our freezers for the winter so we didn't have to buy so much from the grocery store. Whenever I got into my adult life, I was used to eating this way. It was unfamiliar to me to have to buy all of my food from the grocery store. So I failed miserably at planting and having a good garden then, but I do pretty good now. I grow hot sauce. It's a hobby more or less, but I also do a lot of farm stand shopping. And part of this decision to really commit to this, to single serve ingredients, less processed food, that sort of thing, it sort of evolved. Like it wasn't an overnight thing, it just sort of evolved. Since my daughter, both of my kids, they were like 2 and 4, and I was taking this nutrition course in college because when it came time to pick our classes, my kids were doing the whole I'm not going to eat that thing and trying to be little picky birds. And I learned a lot, but during this time, um, that show How It's Made was starting to become more popular. And I watched one on the beef industry and the things they do to our food. And it was alarming to say the least. And we're talking, this was like 2002 or so. So it's been a long time. And so I can only imagine now the weird shit they're doing with their food. And that was part of this decision to really commit to whole single ingredient dishes whenever possible, and buying more from farm stands and growing myself, shared from the family. Last year I've still got squash and zucchini in my freezer that came from my uncle last year. And that is how I get my food now is either it's been grown by someone I know, or I bought it from a farm stand and it's straight from the grower, from the farm. It's not going through a processing facility or anything like that. And for my meat this year, I bought a deer. There are several processing, like deer processing is all it is, a slaughterhouse. And you can call them and tell them you want to get on the list for a deer, because a lot of these hunters, they're either trophy hunters or like I had some friends, everybody in their family hunted, so they had too many deer and they didn't want the meat to go to waste, so they would give it to the process and you just pay for the process. And I paid $113 and I still have meat in my freezer. And this was in January, I think. And so it was like right at the end of hunting season. And here we are, the middle of May, and I still have meat. And it has really shaped me. And I'm just now noticing some big changes compared to how I used to be. Like a normal supper at my house growing up was pork chops, cornbread, mashed potatoes, and black eyed peas. And we didn't really do dessert. I did not realize how my body had become unaccustomed to digesting certain things like fatty, greasy meats. And I went to my mom's for lunch a couple of weeks ago, and it was, I mean, it was nostalgic. It was pork chops and mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, and some peas and some corn, and I had brought some tomatoes. Oh, yeah, and then she had a cake. Oh my God, she made a cake. I did not eat any of the cake. I couldn't do it because I made actually a community post. Y'all pray for this food, this good food. God, it was so good, but I paid the consequences for it, because it was that day I realized my body's not used to these heavy foods anymore. It doesn't know what to do with them. It wants to get rid of it as quickly as possible. So I had to get home real fast. And that was the day I realized something is definitely different, because I started looking back at what I'm eating. I do eat lots of salads. I get in a salad kick, and I'll eat salad after salad after salad. I love those the bag salads. That's some of my favorite things now. And I do a lot of steamed vegetables, stir fried, lean meats. I don't do the heavy greasy meats anymore. It's all lean. Nothing has any grease on it. Breakfast is a fairly light affair now. Like when I've got tomatoes, I'll have a tomato. I might have some scrambled eggs and cheese, known as a cheese omelet, or maybe I'll do some eggs and toast. But I don't, I got to looking back, I don't eat the same stuff anymore. And today my dad was trying to give me some pork chops. One of the local grocery stores has these sales a couple times a year, these huge meat sales, and they're always when I'm working and can't go down there. But they usually have like a lot of like big, huge packs of meat. So he got like this ridiculous pack of pork chops, and he was like, "Hey, do you want some of these?" And they look good, y'all. They were marbled. They had a nice ribbon on them, not too lean, not too fatty. But I know what's going to happen if I eat it. I had to say no. And I told him, and it's the same thing I told my mom. I've had to change everything about the way I eat and my relationship to food. I don't spend all day planning a meal unless it's something I need to thaw or go buy. You know, um, I don't start thinking and craving a meal a day in advance almost. Like I'm not drinking my coffee in the morning thinking about cooking something for supper. I'm not, I don't get into my feelings and have to eat. I do like chocolate. I'm not going to lie. I am a woman over 40. I don't have any more hormones. They all run out. I have to take them in a pill now. So from time to time, I have some chocolate. But I'm not just sitting here, all up in my head habitually eating like a whole bag of chips at one time, a whole frozen pizza at one time. Now, frozen pizzas, I eat like half. And it usually takes me more than one trip to the pizza to eat that half. The rest of it I put in the freezer. And if I have, lunch is in a hurry and all I have time to do is to yank it out of there and throw it in the toaster oven, that's what I do. And they're handy for that. But I don't just sit there and eat the whole thing no more. I ate very small portions, and that was very hard. I mean, it's been a constant adjustment. I've had so much leftover food. I've started doing the prep thing, the meal prep thing. I've about got my portion size figured out, but instead of putting like a whole meal of I'm eating two or whatever together and put it in a box in the refrigerator. Each thing goes in its individual serving baggie. I put zippy bags. I cannot ever run out of those, and I've got boxes for a few things too. Soups, all of that goes in the freezer because I'll never get it eaten before it goes bad. Last week I made a big batch of spaghetti. I gave my y'all, this is what has happened with the portion size. I gave my dad what for me would have been two bowls. I make mine super thick and meaty. It's homemade. I crush the tomatoes and everything, and I make it super thick and meaty. And I make my sauce so it clings to the meat because I can't eat all the noodles. I can eat like if I'm eating regular noodles, like a half a serving. I have to be mindful of a serving size, and I'll have half of one. And I tried the zoodles, and so it's a very meaty sauce. And I gave my dad what would give me two bowls, two meals. He added more to it. He made this, then it was enough. And I was thinking, my God, that's how I used to eat. Like, I would use a pound of meat and a quart of sauce to make a bowl and half the box of noodles, and it would be gone by morning. Environmental noise. I clipped this part out. In your case with the blip, yeah, that was okay. But my point is, my portions have gone from, a two handful to a one. I went to Sonic today, and instead of getting the double cheeseburger and the tots, I got a corn dog, and I was full. Because the last time I went, I got the small popcorn chicken and a small pickle fry, and it was too much. That is an adjustment. I had to start being, I had to start paying attention basically to how much I was actually consuming, so I would know how to plan ahead. Because, like I said, I'm throwing away food sometimes because I can't eat it before it's too late. I've made too much, and some stuff is not good as leftovers. Okay, some stuff just does not work well as leftovers. But it's paid off. I've lost these 90 pounds, and my body has transformed so much that my own family doesn't recognize me. My aunt lives two doors down in an apartment, and I walk past her house. Every time I walk, she sees me. She didn't know who I was. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I said, you didn't know that was me. You never said hello. You've been here in this video for this long, and you haven't said hello yet. Don't be rude. Say hi. Because I'm about to wrap it up. But yeah, this is an ongoing journey. This is an adventure without food. This is an adventure with food. I don't know. This is a journey. I always resented the sound of the words weight loss journey. It really is, y'all. It's an adventure. I'm always learning something new, and I've learned how to be mindful and pay attention to the way foods make me feel. And if they make me feel bad, I probably don't need to be eating that. But the foods that are good for me make me feel good, so I eat more of those. Thank you for sticking around. This video ran a lot longer than I wanted it to. I'm real sorry about that. But no, I'm not. I just had a lot to say. I was excited, y'all. I'm just so excited. This is the lowest I have been in probably 10 years. And this is the best I have felt in that time too. And I just wanted to share this experience with you. And just if you're on your own journey now, this will give you something to look forward to and to be aware of that it's not a diet anymore. This is what we eat. This is what I eat. I don't know what you eat, but this is what I eat, and this is how I have to eat, or I'm not going to feel good. And I refuse not to feel good. That's all there is to it. I refuse to do anything to myself that will make me not feel good. So, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for saying hello before you leave. Hit the big old thumbs up if you found this helpful and informative, or just because you got a twitchy finger. That's fine too. It's all good either way. I'll see you in the next video.